Yeah. Oh, Bear, hey. Good night. Okay, hope you have a good sleep. This time I have not muted my microphone, that helps. Yeah, it's a problem. So the base pipeline characteristic is actually not a range. It's derived from pipeline characteristic and not from characteristic range. And when it's not a range, we do not need any caching, see description. And therefore we do not really need to pass which characteristic it is. Currently I've been making changes with this add memo function requires me to pass which characteristic it is. I could pass this pointer, this pointer, which is just, yeah, well, maybe. Oh man, what to do? Okay, let's start with that. At least I have a characteristic pointer here. So the flat grade info now takes an add that takes a characteristic or a reference. Yeah, just a reference. Well, okay. Oh. Yeah, that's not possible because it is an inaccessible base class. Okay, then it was silly anyway. So let's just not pass it. And then I have to fix that. Hmm. I think I want to keep these things as they are-ish. Man, it's a lot of changes and I'm not sure how to do it. So often I just, start claying. Make a change here, make a change there, change the change. And I'm starting to get the feeling that if I do that here, that I'll be editing a lot of code and then again and again and again. And since it's a lot of code, that makes no sense. At least that would be very inefficient. So I need a better plan probably to do it right from the start. I'm going to have a look at the diff, because I made a kind of a mess, I think. Never mind this. What? Is it a resource? So right now, my register add fragment shader with passes characteristic range const reference. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think this is being called at the moment. I do an add characteristic to a pipeline factory. So the whole registration thereof just needs to include which characteristic it is. So I guess that's correct. And then I have here, or that it's the declaration. And then we have here the same thing for add push constant. And the declaration thereof. And I just the only thing that does is call add to flat create info. So I just have to pass on the characteristic range, I guess, to the pipeline factory as well there. Maybe the code is correct. And the only thing I have to change is how it is being handled once we arrive at the flat create info object. Add push constant also gets that extra argument. Add shader stage also passes it also to the add to flat create info. And then the vertex shader. I see some asymmetry here. This one prints debug output. I didn't see the other one print debug output. Or I forgot to change that. So we had add something, shader, register, add something. Let's see if that. It's in the middle of words. Add an X. So we have the same thing, but then for the fragment shader. Okay, it doesn't print anything because it also doesn't do anything. But let's print it anyway. Just copy the line. Oops. Add fragment shader, register, add fragment shader with pipeline factory, and then the characteristic range. And the declaration. Yeah, here I add a for declaration for the characteristic range index, but then later I change it to not passing characteristic range index, but passing the characteristic range itself. Oh, the old code already had it anyway, and we needed it here. So I guess this one is correct, and the changes here are more that I moved it from the task namespace to the pipeline namespace, the characteristic range index. I could move these three back though inside this namespace, because now I no longer, well, then that's not correct. In order to define it in the namespace pipeline, I need the task characteristic range already to be forward declared. Okay, so that looks correct. And this is then just passing the characteristic range reference as extra parameter to these functions. And then I get, okay, the thing is in a different namespace now. Yeah, same thing here. Pipeline in front of it. Yeah, this was a weird thing. So it's a like kind of a redefinition or redeclaration. Declaration, I guess. As in, it doesn't generate code. But yeah, it was a duplicate, so I removed it. Now this was, this might be the case where I added a for declaration. It's not really a for declaration, I guess. It's just a using thing, so more like the type def. And then I used it, but then I changed this later to just take a characteristic range instead, so you don't no longer need this, I think. And that is in this header. Let's not commit stuff that is not necessary. Live keyboard cleaning. What am I looking for? I just think I don't need this line here. Nope. Hmm. for declaration here, so we can add this extra argument, and then I'm not doing anything with it. That is kind of weird, but yeah, this is inside the flat create info. So I guess it's correct. I'm just not doing anything with it. I just wanted that information to be available here, but it's not being used yet. So all these add things, adds of vectors with some data. In this case, pipeline shader says create info, and here we have this, and here we have that. There are lots of different types, all in vectors. They can be added. Add vector. And they all now get a characteristic range const reference as extra parameter. And then we get here, which is doing, okay, I move that down so that this is already called. That might be important. Yeah, kind of the same thing here. I move this to up before pipeline, so that now the characteristic range is forward declared before we get here, so that I'm able to define the characteristic range index. But am I using it? Yeah, it's being used. Okay, so it basically just moving characteristic range index from task to pipeline. Now we get pipeline in front of it everywhere. Would add that list. Okay, this is the add to flat create info function that we saw before, which now gets this extra parameter, which is then just passed to all the adds, which we already saw as well. And here another pipeline says in front of it. It looks actually good. I'd expect it to be, yeah, nonsense, as it were, what I did yesterday. It should also compile. And I think I can just commit it, so we have less pollution in the git diff before I start working on the rest. No, it does not compile, because I still have this problem here. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Azure. I don't speak Russian, so yeah. The not broken hello, what? The question mark? I don't know. What you do with this? On the one hand, it is not necessary to pass only characteristic range. On the other hand, It wouldn't really hurt, but I cannot access the base class. I can of course change that so I can access it, but I had a reason for doing that: protect the user, to accidentally access it. And I did that so thorough that I can really not access it myself here. Yeah, one way would be to create a new function inside, where we call this. So currently I'm calling add on the flat create info directly, but we do not have a characteristic range pointer here, and I do not want to duplicate all the adds. There's already so many of them. So instead I could say I want to change this into a lot more local function. I'm not very happy with the add to begin with, I have to say. It's more like register. Stupid register is still a keyword. It's not even a keyword anymore, I think. You cannot say that something has to be a register, but it is still a keyword anyway. Is there not a better word? What I want to do, what the add means here is add to flat create info. add to the flat create info a pointer to that vector, because we will fill that vector. So the comment also said, register the vectors that we will fill, and then here we fill it. So I have to tell the flat create info object that we will provide data in these vectors. Is that an add? What is a good word there? No, I don't know. I'll keep add for now, because I don't know. So let's remove all the flat create infos, because we cannot provide the right data. And then, yeah. I'm not happy with that either. And here I'm still mentioning the flat create info because I'm accessing a member of it directly. Why would I even pass a pointer? I could pass a reference and store a pointer. Meanwhile, I'm changing this anyway. Right, so now I need to add my add, and then that add is going to, I guess, be a template member of characteristic. Can make it protected. So we're gonna have an add, and we pass something, and that something will always be a vector of some type, and then we pass it as a cons reference. Not as a cons reference, as a reference, because we are going to fill it. Gonna be kidding me. I want to use the same name as I did in the other function. That is very similar. That is probably part of... Nope, no idea. But I'm pretty sure it has that in it. I can just grab for that and then list. That's what it was. Maybe I should also use this instead of add, because I removed the flat create info at the front. Well, this is a ridiculous word, but oops. At least I want to stay consistent. So I'm gonna call it, oops. Yeah, let's call this that, and then this is list. List as a vector. And I think I can access the characteristic base. Sorry, I can access the characteristic base here. Yeah, it's private, but now I am inside characteristic itself, and I can of course access all the private members. So this is protected, derived from task characteristic base range, but it's also a member function, so we are derived then from blah blah blah. I think we can just access it now. In fact, yeah, and we also have this. It's protected. So I think I can do now this, and then add, and then list. And then, well, actually we do have a parser pointer here at the moment. And now I can do this, because this function can access that base class. And then this must be a template. Yeah, just type name, I guess. Almost. That is a pointer. Seriously? Yeah, it was a pointer. Same problem, different test application. Add to, let create info. By reference. Oops. Oh, again. Add to. Add to. Yep, lots of places. Now it finally compiles. We go over the div again. Okay, we just made this change. And then the extra output, debug output, I mean. Yeah, basically looked at all of this again. Oh wait, yeah, no, I just copied that, so that's correct. This we just added, and then the for declaration stuff, moving it to another namespace. More arguments, that was moved down. Okay, I think I can just commit this, commit everything. Wait, never commit without first doing a status. Okay, commit -a. Work in progress. Then we have to go to the flat create info and actually do something with it. There's no flat create info.cxx. Oh. So I have an add here. I have lots of adds for different vectors, and they do they all do more or less the same thing. We are being passed a pointer here to vector, and then we store that pointer in a mutex protected vector of vector pointers. In this case, that one. Depends on the type. You see the type is defined here, and it means that it's a wrapper, means it adds a mutex to it to protect it with a mutex. But in fact, it's just a vector of pointers to const vectors. We will only read them. So the one that registers the vector gives us a pointer. We store that here. The one that registers fills that vector, and the flat creator will only read it afterwards. So I was wrong, I think. I said it had to be a reference, but it could have been a const reference. And I have to change that now because you have to be accurate. So this had to be a const reference after all. Or could be rather. Oh, now we turn it into a pointer to a const vector by ampersand here. So that should still compile. I didn't push it yet, so I think I'm gonna amend the commit. Why not? If it compiles and stuff. Of course it compiles. Did you ever see me type something that resulted in a compile error? So git commit -a amend, and now we get this exact same thing again. Right, then clean, and we go back to flat create info. Yep, because all these adds now get, where's my add? All these adds now get passed an additional argument, namely the owning characteristic range, the characteristic range that owns this vector. And we need to store that as well. And I was planning to do that by not really storing the reference or pointer to the characteristic range, but because each characteristic has a unique index, the characteristic range index. So I can just store something in vectors at a given index, and then that index determines which characteristic range it is. But what exactly do I want or need to store? We need to add caches for these vectors. Maybe I do not even want to change the way this works. That is, I can keep my vector of vectors. Sorry, my vector of pointers to vectors, and then separately add a vector with vectors, which then are going to be the cache values, cached values. Or is that a vector of vectors? I'm afraid it is. Triple vectors. But I think I still need to know what this pointer, which characteristic range this pointer belongs to. So currently I'm just doing a simple push back. But instead I want to now store my pointer, so this is the pointer, at a given index. And we can get that index from the characteristic range. So let's try that out. I have a, I'm not sure what namespace I'm in, but I have a characteristic range index. I'm in pipeline, yeah. Characteristic range index is obtainable from the characteristic range by calling characteristic range index. I think. Try to compile that. Compiling is sometimes even easier than to look it up. How horrible is that? It's kind of slow though. Maybe I should have looked it up. Characteristic range index is not declared. Yeah, well. Namespace. We are in the namespace pipeline, that's correct. I have my characteristic range here, so I might as well use add using characteristic range index is utils vector index characteristic range index task. Or I could have jumped here and then copied it, but I typed this correctly. Oh, I did. Amazing, isn't it? And I deleted it anyway. Okay, so that should help. Why am I at minus 400 euros? Have a quick look at the stock market. Holy shit, why did that go down that much? Well, I was planning to buy more at this level. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Maybe it goes down even more. Okay. Valid use of incomplete type. Let me see, about 620. Thank God, maybe 20. Oh, yeah, let's wait a little bit. I don't know. I'm not making as much gain as I could because I like to program rather than watch a stupid graph the whole day. So I'm not getting paid for this stream. Instead, I'm paying for it. I'm losing money because I'm coding. Never mind. So what was the error here? Characteristic range index. This is not declared here. I think I'm going to move all these functions to the .cxx file. Otherwise, I have to include all the headers of the world in this header. Excusez-moi. Yes, so we need to create a .cxx file, which in my case always begins with include sys.h, and then we are in namespace pipeline. Yeah, okay, sorry guys, I have to do a quick check on the market. Just a quick check. Ooh, Tesla went down, but just a little bit. Oh, that went up. Holy shit, why? What's going on? Australia's government has proposed to expand its ability to curb liquefied natural gas exports from 3 projects on the East Coast. So, bottom line, the market is doing well, except the stock that I have. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's not even news. I cannot think of any other reason that it goes down like this than that everybody is an idiot and crazy. But the question is, then what will be the bottom? I think it's basically ridiculous why it went so down. Sorry guys, 200. Definitely buy at 600. But maybe already. I wish I could just show you guys this graph while I'm looking at it, but then you get to see all kinds of personal info. Well, not really personal, but amounts. Let me make a quick screenshot. Is this on right? So I was so smart to buy here at 6:20 today. Yeah. I mean, what in the world is causing this? Maybe there was news and I just didn't see it, and I still can't see it. If you look at the graph, you would say, okay, there was negative news. And then they just adjust down. But I'm convinced that this stock is worth 620. So yeah, if it goes down to 600, then $20 per stock win. If you can buy it. But 600 would be ridiculous, and I would really have missed some super serious news, which is I don't think so. If the news was that severe, it would have been like like that. I think there's no news. People are just thinking that, oh, it's go down, so let's sell. That's what I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so this is what you also can do with your day. Just stare at these graphs and then try to get a feeling of what it will do. I just don't like to spend my time like that. If I spend a whole day like that, then I make like 100 euros a day. But if you convert it to hour, gain per hour, that's ridiculous. That is not enough. But it's kind of tax free. That's for sure. So I mean, you really get 100 euros then. Oh well. I'm sorry to bother you guys with that. But it was either that or go totally silent and you were wondering where I was. So I have this header and I want to move my ads to the .cxx file. Definitely looks like the bottom does. I can stop the stream, I guess, but holding news. What the hell is going on? Press releases. Itinerary, yeah, that's just nothing. Not here anyway. Is no news. I don't know what this is about, but it doesn't go further than 2008. That's doesn't really feel up to date. That's really weird, but okay. That is hell. This drop here would already indicate that some news ish. Looks like a total overreaction. That's been completely stable for all those minutes, around 608. So what are we going to do? Jump back to 610 or go down further? It's going up, I think. I think I'll buy. Let's buy. Try at 608 still. And I missed it, of course. 602, 6082, I mean, yup. Boing, boing. 609. That's too greedy. It was already going a bit up, 608.2, and I tried to buy it at 608. Going up 609, not as fast as I thought. I would jump back to 610 in very quickly. Yeah, the graph is super delayed. Try to buy it here, 608. I think I'm going to stop the stream, guys, because clearly I'm occupied now with this. I'm sorry, but I cannot continue streaming. See, my viewers dropped to 1, so they agree.